So, part two of our discussion about the vet visit. What else do we need to be discussing and doing in those visits with our new puppies and kittens and adult dogs? Well, one of the most important things to remember here about anything is that nothing is one size fits all. Every individual pet is individual, and your situation and your lifestyle and your family and how you interact and raise your pet are all different. It's always different. So, you can't just go in with one simple same approach to training. Even though a lot of vets are taught a lot about puppy training, a lot of dogs need a very different approach to training than others. So, not to stereotype, but some of your stronger willed animals, your German Shepherds and your Cane Corsos and your protection and working dogs, they need a little bit more structure and discipline and almost by the numbers, almost a military approach to training. And some of your smaller, simpler dogs and your golden retrievers mixed with poodles, who we're now calling golden doodles, they're a lot more delicate and gentle, and they need more of a nurturing and caring and coaxing approach. And if you try one of those two approaches with the wrong dog, it's just not going to work. They're not going to get it. There's also a lot about fear-free. The past decade or so, fear-free has been a big thing in vet clinics. Some vet clinics embrace it fully, and it's wonderful. Others get their certification, or even I saw one that just put it on their website and they weren't even certified. So how much they're doing with fear-free really matters. And again, it's not one size fits all. So I love the idea of positivity and fear-free for any animal in the vet clinic. But when it comes to training, as I said, some need a little bit more structure. Begging and coaxing isn't the right thing for every single dog, but a positive and not being negative approach is the right thing for every single dog. And your rescue dog, your shelter, your rescue dog that's not a new puppy, they've likely been through a lot of stress, trauma, drama, whether it was the shelter environment or their previous lifestyle, their previous owner. They may be, damaged, PTSD type situations, shell shock coming out of the shelter. Now, some dogs, your 2-year-old Pitty is going to come out of the shelter just as happy as it was the day it went in there. But some of your more delicate breeds, your more gentle breeds, and your mixed breeds are just going to be traumatized, and they're going to come out of there scared of their own shadow. And before you start doing any sort of training, you're going to have to really help rebuild their nervous system and their emotional system and be supportive of them. And they're going to need some herbs and supplements to try to help rebalance their adrenal glands and the way that they respond to stresses, or even to regain the ability to respond to stresses before you can even start trying these other approaches to training. So some dogs are going to come out of there just fine, and other dogs are going to come out of there a real mess. And if you're not prepared to go slow and think about what you're doing and seek some alternatives about how to make their body and their emotional system stronger, then the training is never going to work. Then again, about the breeds, your Aussies and your healers and your border collies, they're high energy dogs. They need mental stimulation, they need training, they need thinking games, they need a lot more mental input than some of your other smaller breeds that want to lay around the house. And then the last thing about that is lead by example. Okay, some people are natural born leaders and some aren't. It's hard to train. Actually, I don't think it can be trained. I think you're either a confident person and your dog sees your confidence and feeds off your confidence and is confident around you, or you're not a confident person and therefore your dog doesn't learn to be confident from you. And that's okay. That's natural. Some people are one way, some people are another. But your dog needs some amount of structure. Your dog wants to know his position in the social situation of the pack. Now, kind of what I said earlier, it's not all about alpha training. It's not all about master and command and dominance and submission. Some of your protection dogs and working dogs will like and appreciate that. A lot of your other dogs are not going to like that. They're not going to do well with that. They're going to be scared and they're going to pee on themselves and pee on the floor. But the dog needs to know its position in the family. If there's not a clear leader, the dog's going to attempt to be the leader. It's not about alpha. It's about there needs to be a leader in this group of people and dogs. And the dog wants to know their position. If their position is to be the leader, then teach them that. If their position is to be equal to you, then teach them that. If their position is to be lower on the totem pole than you and to really follow your commands, then teach them that. But if you don't teach them that, they're going to try to find their own place to fit in. They're going to try to figure out how to fit in there. And if they don't see a clear leader, they're going to assume it's their job to be the leader, and they're going to try to be the leader. Now, again, for some of the Not to breed stereotype, but some dogs are natural born leaders and in charge, and they're fine with that position. And they may challenge you for that position. They may be more difficult to train if you don't want them in that position because they want to be the leader. Other dogs don't want to be the leader. They're not built for it. They don't have the adrenal glands and the ability to handle the stresses of being a leader in a leadership position. But they'll assume that role anyway if nobody else is doing it because somebody has to do it. Those are dogs that are going to be super stressed about it and have other behavior issues that you don't realize are coming or stemming from the fact that they are having to be a leader when they don't want to be. So keep that in mind. You need to find a good trainer. You need to find the right type of training that fits your dog. And you can't change who you are, but the trainers can help you do some things differently or change some postures, some social cues you're giving your dog that will help you. So we'll do some more later. Thanks.